Sometimes very good, sometimes very shit. Smash the like button, sub to Jess. I don't like asking you doing their job on YouTube, man. And we're live. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thursdays, me and Jess are typically streaming. We're normally in high spirits. We know the elephant in the room, which no doubt we're going to discuss. But before all of that, subscribe to Jess. It's in the title. How are you doing beyond the obvious, Jess?
I mean, I'm probably better than expected, but also, you know, that comes with many years of disappointment. So yeah, this isn't our first time. You know,
It's not our first, but does this one feel? Do you know what? Yeah, are we panicking? Before I ask you what I really want to ask you, like, are we panicking?
I mean, listen, I feel like maybe if we had not experienced this before, or at least these similar feelings or these similar performances or dropping points in a similar way, it would feel like panicking or feeling like it's all over at 5 points clear was just doing the most. But I think the fact that a big part of the fan base does feel like it's over is like that is the problem. Is we feel, or like a lot of us, I'm just going to speak for myself, feel like they are crumbling or bottling the league at 5 points clear because there's just a huge fracture between the players and the manager and the trust with the fans, you know? So yeah, I guess on paper you can say like, yeah, you're still 5 points clear. Why are you, panicking? But the fact that we are is actually more of the story than like, yeah, we're 5 points clear. Like, why aren't you excited? You know?
It's annoying, Jess, because honestly, I genuinely think if you've been watching Arsenal, let's not even do all of that 20 plus years and all of that. If you've been watching Arsenal in the last 3 years, if you've been watching Arsenal in the last 2 seasons, I think I've been more than fair. We all know the issues last season. We all know pre-season is not a mythical place you go to for a couple of weeks. Everything's written. So I think I've been more than fair. Pre-season, it is what it is. You step into this season, I really just want you to get points in it from minute 1 to game week 10 in it. From the game week 10, football needs to start. It's now serious business in which there's been highs, there's been lows, but we've gone from that. We get to the December period. Me and you say it all the time. Just get out of that. We're now in February, and I do think winning, losing, or drawing, I'm talking about the same things yesterday, whether it's, and we're going to go through it all, people. Mikel Arteta's game management, the players, not smelling blood. An annoying thing, I know no 2 games are the same, but Man United at home, and then obviously last night, where we get this, the players get this false sense of confidence in that you're dominating possession, the team's pending their own half. Admittedly, we got an early goal yesterday, but you think the game is kind of done and you have to kill opposition. There's no way of wrapping that game up here. It's first against 20th. You drop points against Brentford. You should be looking at this week with 6 points. There's no excuses. There's no positives. And even that, even if you don't want to do all that title stuff, there's learned experiences you needed to learn from the Wolves at home, where you got away with it at the end. So if nothing changes, nothing changes, just surely. Like, it's an idiot thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, nothing changes when the performances just do not change. And I don't know if there's like a collective feeling within the fan or the players and the manager that as long as they're top and there's a gap and they're not losing, that they're okay.
Because tomorrow, seize the presence, man.
Yeah, that's what kind of feels like to me. It's that if you can't win, don't lose. We're not losing, we're drawing, we're still ahead by this amount of points, we're winning. Like, the warning signs have been there with the performances. I know that there are statistics out there that say we have the most XG difference and all that, but I'm talking about what I'm seeing with my own 2 eyes.
Exactly. And stop lying to the people, man.
Yeah, the performances have not been great. I remember first game of the season against Man United, gave them a pass because we won the game. Then, you know, it goes to the Liverpool game. Oh, but they're champions. It's fine. You play against City at home and they're like playing terribly at the time. Oh, but we didn't lose. This whole idea that the
Opium.
performances are fine because we're ahead and because we're not losing is creating a false sense of, you know, that we're doing well when it's like we are. But I don't know if people realize this, but we're only 4 points better off now than we were at this point last season. So
And that's another
essentially,
thing as well. Go on, Jess, because when you
so
finish,
yeah,
you sent
essentially
me some stats and I want to read them out.
the only difference between this season and last season is that Liverpool is not running away with it. That's it. That's it.
And
We're basically like we had what we would consider a terrible season last season. We're only 4 points better.
so what does that mean?
Yeah, to me, it's just like this period of time between January and February has really been just survival. If we win the game, it never felt like the performances were like really good. I think Leeds probably stands out, but we beaten Leeds home and away. We slapped them. Those are like our two big, like, we
You're
slapped
scratching your
them.
head, Jess, in the Premier League
No.
where we've been great for 90 minutes. Leeds, you could say that, fair play. Me, it's only Newcastle away. That's it.
Yeah.
Champions League, you've done what's needed to be done. Like it's all mirage. And again, I just want to address this. I mean, no offense, DG, you were one of those on Copium. Am I wrong? Respectfully, you've not seen my content clearly because again, I think I'm saying the same things day in, day out.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna penny that or give it any mind. Like the boys are just shooting themselves in the foot, man. Yesterday, what went wrong for you though, man? Like what went wrong? What went right? Like, let's actually start there. Like for you, the 90 minutes against Wolves, talk me through it, man. Like, leave no stone unturned.
I mean, typical Arsenal performance in the majority of games in the Premier League. If you take out all of the games in the Champions League, you take out random cup games, if you look at how we've been in the league, we've, especially in January and February and a little bit in December as well, actually starting with the Sunderland game, probably, there has been a distinct pattern with Arsenal not being able to put teams away, leaving teams in the game, not stomping them out and taking the 3 points in the first half. And then once they get into that stage where the other team is pushing because they realize they're in the game, we have become susceptible to conceding, especially a couple minutes after we score and at the very end of matches when we get nervous. And so I think the Wolves game was just a very clear picture of who we've been this season. I think that, you know, you can blame the lineup and say you could have played this player, you could have played that player, but that group of players, no matter what the composition was, the chemistry, whatever, should be able to beat the worst team in Premier League history easily. You know, so beyond that, you just have to look at it and say, like, we've let these patterns go because the results were going in our favor. But to me, yesterday was just our luck kind of ran out. The set piece goal wasn't there to give us the cushion. The defense wasn't solid and keeping the clean sheet like they had been. So now we're in a position where we're just all the patterns just were right there. It's just, is anybody surprised that we conceded that second goal? Because I was like, it's coming. It's coming.
I don't think you can be, Jess. How can you be surprised when we've seen this movie? Like, one thing I clocked with Arsenal very early. Yeah, I can give people the example. Manchester City away. I told you lot, we have dropped off a cliff defensively, and just so I am not misunderstood, when I'm talking about attack, I'm talking about the whole team. When I talk about defense, I'm talking about the whole team. We're conceding cheap goals. One of the cop-outs has been, oh my God, Magalhaes is there. We are a good defensive side. You know, we still got the clean sheets, but we used to be a great one in previous years. Football's decided in both ends. You play with your dinner, someone else is going to eat it. You fuck around, you leave your door open, which defensively we was. Someone's going to break in it. It's this, like Jess has been saying, I don't think you can be surprised. Naive game management, amateur game management from the players, bewildering this from Mikel Arteta. Like, off the bat, like, again, me and Jess, we're going to keep saying the same things. We both love Zubamendi. When the games become a bit crazy and that, from his first year, you should not be out there. He never came off. White never came off. Big up Saka because he scored and he signed his new deal. Saka should have come off. Why are you not using Norgard? Now I get it. The manager for the vast majority of the season, what you're doing has been working, but you've got a squad. You need to use it. You cannot stand in the rain and complain you're wet. Everybody saw that front three and thought, oh, on paper, it should be enough to get something against Wolves. Gyökeres ball retention. And I'm not making it about Gyökeres. Gyökeres ball retention pony. Martinelli, a madman with his decision making. Noni Madueke, extremely frustrating, but he's not. Mikel Arteta is not allowed to be frustrated with Madueke. You get 15 mil a year. You've competed in Europe. You are praised as one of the best managers. So me as an armchair expert, I still maintain Noni's not as bad as people make out, but I don't think that was a level raiser. You signed him, make it work. Make it work. Rice, I think you came to the party and then curled in the ball. Don't know what's going on with my midfield. I actually think generally my defense did all right. Shout Hincapié, shout Gabriel and everyone. But they obviously fucked up for the goal. But the game should have been put to bed. And what annoys me, Jess, is the points we're dropping from winning positions. The fact that we're 2 goals up against 20th place and didn't win. The fact that at 2-1, you lot should go, listen, relax now. You've drawn 2-2. You don't want to win a Premier League title. You don't. You don't. You clearly don't. And for me, I don't know about you, Jess. I think it's over. Mathematically, you have to fight. I don't want these lot to believe how I believe, but I can't lie from my eyes. It's done. It's done. We do the whole going against thing. Joke, man. Amateurs.
Yeah. I mean, it always gets to this stage where we need to play against one of our rivals to save us, from despair. I think we should be so far clear at this stage that it's like a done deal. There's so many people that have lied to themselves about, yeah, but the Premier League is such a difficult league. Guys, we drop points to really bad teams. We drop points to Wolves. We drop points to Forest. We drop points to Liverpool when they were horrendous. They didn't have
the big games were right. The games we should be walking on paper. We fuck about. Just.
Yeah, we should be far gone. But it's just we're not losing, and we're still 4 points clear. We're still 5 points clear. It's 1 point gained. Now we have to go into a North London derby where they have absolutely nothing to play for but to ruin our season. And these boys are not performing. I have no hope that they are going to win that game, not because they're not good enough to do so, not because I think Tottenham are better than us, but it's all about what's going on up here. And they are imploding. And they've been
I'm not staying for the North London derby just because them games they're on it. It's, as you said, Wolves. Fair enough. And again, if nobody can misunderstand me or Jess, or you want to take us out of quotes, we know we're not going to win every game. There is going to be bad days, yada, yada, yada. But we're a good team a lot of the side. As much as I feel low as a fan right now, we don't have many lows, but we don't have that high of getting over the line. So it is those fine margins. 15 minutes away, Sunderland away. Brentford, you've taken the lead. Even the points dropped from winning positions. This is not Champions material. I know the players care, but do you know what the beautiful thing is about football, Jess? You're in America, I'm in England, there's fans all over the world, there's players from all over the world. But when it comes to football, we all speak one language, and it's with your 2 feet. You're not showing me you care. Where's the pride in the clean sheets? Where's the putting the teams to bed? Mikel Arteta, it comes from you, but the players out there, you're all grown enough, ugly enough, got transferable skills. You've been in this situation even as early as 12, 18 months ago. It don't mean enough to you. And I don't want to do the coulda, woulda, shoulda. And Jess, I'll be real. When we start sitting here and talking about, City, which they are, everyone's going to drop points. When we start talking about these lot can do us a favor, City can drop a point, drop me out of it. Just put my league up in the bag. It is what it is from there, innit? I don't want to hear nothing else because no one can wrap this bullshit up to me.
Oh, no, not at all. And that's the thing. It's not so much that we're so far away from it or out of it that we couldn't turn it around. It's just they've shown historically that once they start to implode, they lean into it and they will not start playing good again until they're behind City. And then it'll be, yeah, but if we adjust or if I don't care about that, you guys. It's just you can't be dropping points to Wolves when you have an opportunity to put some pressure on City. And if you're collapsing in February,
do your job as well, really.
Yeah, the collapse. I mean, obviously, you don't ever want to collapse, but when you see your team starting to show signs of nervousness in December, January, February, they don't have it. You should be feeling the pressure when we get down to 4 or 5 games where you're you can taste it and you're right there. But they be having 18, 19 games left and they're shivering in their boots. I have nothing left. It's just, listen, you've gotten yourselves into such a good position and you're on the the edges of throwing it away. Nobody's going to be listening about, but Kai Havertz wasn't available. I'm seeing
I
people
don't
say,
want to
oh,
hear
but if
none
we
of
had
that.
Kai. No, even if Kai was here, you guys would find a way to F it up because it's all about what's going on up here. And the manager,
Odegaard
listen,
was dropped, and we're meant to be so. I'm not even gassing Odegaard, but we're meant to be so amazing. If Odegaard's not there, the bigger problem is everybody's behaving like pussios.
yeah,
Simple as that.
exactly. And I think the bigger conversation beyond like the mentality and the bottling of it all, because that's really, really disappointing, is the we had kind of shelved what people would consider good football for the ends to justify the means. Like the ends were meant to be trophies, and that was meant to mean that it's okay for us to play probably some really, if you're being kind, boring football, agricultural football, if that's what you want to call it.
Lifeless in the
And
final third.
so
Spreadsheets,
many
not
people
enough
have
invention
questioned
and
this over the
intention.
years, like, are we creating enough chances? Is our attack good enough? Are we scoring enough goals? Do we have this? And we've rested so long on this defense that it's now breaking. And it's becoming so abundantly clear that we need to play more adventurous, attacking, aggressive football. In 22-23, yes, we still fell apart when Saliba went down, and it was a little bit of like
And a lot of them
nervousness.
games
And
they were on knife edge. So I'm not even against
yeah,
us being defensive, but we
yeah,
never
but
puff out chest.
there was never a time where I felt like we wouldn't score. There was never a time where we were behind that I thought that we couldn't come back in that season. We always responded. We went to Anfield and scored 2 goals. We gave up 2 goals, but that performance is so much more like you could resonate with that performance so much more than the kind of managing the game that we're doing now. Let's stop them from doing stuff so that we don't get caught because we don't want to lose.
But the funny thing is
So
about that, Jess, you still got to put you can be as a defensive or as attacking as you want. Still got to keep balls out the back of your net. Got to put balls in the back of your opponents. And it feels like we don't learn that. I feel like the gaffer, like just he needs to pivot away. Now, granted, I don't want to sit here and be a hypocrite. I wanted Saka in the 10, you done that. And also, again, I'm very critical of the team. The first half is all on you. I'm accustomed to an indifferent first half where, yeah, you scored. I actually think we started off the second half crap, which normally we start off all right. You're 2 goals up. And also, like, the manager, you have to hold a lot of smoke. The players, bro, they're players. I know it's not as easy. I know it's difficult and whatnot, but there's a lack of street smartness. Brentford and yesterday have put that up to bed. There's no seeing out games. There's no smelling blood. As Jess has been alluding to, sometimes a way of defending is to just keep doing the same things. Yeah, it's 2-1. It's looking scary. Go and get another one.
you have
We're
to
creating
attack.
marginal chances, man. When did we
They
put Sarr under pressure? I'm
they're
actually getting sick of this.
they play on the margins all the time.
And
Every
they don't
game
win
is on a
games.
knife edge. Every game is built around things just going our way because of probability. We never take the game by the scruff of the neck. And I'm sorry, if you play more attacking, aggressive football where you're just going at the team, you may lose to Brentford, but you beat Wolves and you have more points than you do now. The way that we're playing is so built around if you can't win, don't lose. And you're starting to see it's simple math.
And it's the
I don't
draws
think
that are
people actually do
frustrating,
the
man.
math. 2 draws is worse than a win and a loss. I'd rather have a win and a loss than this draw culture that we've gotten into, because the last 2 seasons has been
14
all
last year.
draws.
Half that now.
Draws. Draw. Oh, but we didn't lose, so it's okay. Like, it's not okay. You need to be winning. You need
There's
to be
too many
winning more
Arsenal
games.
fans that got all the advice of how to win a league title, and we've not done it in 3 years. This is like we love to shoot ourselves in the foot. I don't want this to be forgotten, yeah, but Jess actually sent me like several screenshots of like several statistics and things. The approach after we score a goal needs to change. A look at some of the goals we have conceded since our 10-game winning streak. There's a few, so we're gonna go over them bit by bit, people. On the 17th of February, obviously against Wolves, we conceded 5 minutes after going 2 goals up. And just did mention this like in a throwaway comment earlier. Brentford away conceded 10 minutes after going 1-0 up. The 25th of January conceded 3 minutes after tying it 2-2 with United. On the 20th of January against Inter, which was a good performance, we did concede 8 minutes after going a goal up. Against Chelsea, we conceded 12 minutes after going 3-1 up. Against Brentford away, we conceded 5 minutes after also going 3-1 up. Against Brighton, we conceded 12 minutes after going 2-0 up. Against Palace on the 23rd of December, 15 minutes after going a goal up. December the 13th, conceded 20 minutes after, that was against Wolves after going a goal up. Bayern Munich on the 26th of November conceded 10 minutes after going 1-0 up. The 8th of November against Sunderland conceded 20 minutes after going 2-1 up. There's so many cliches I feel, Jess, that I said, yeah. They say 1-0 is a dangerous scoreline. They say 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. They say attack is a form of defense. And they also say in football, you're most vulnerable when you've just scored. It seems like we don't adhere to these things, Jess.
No, I mean, and his like main course of action when we're at a even game state or even ahead is to get more defensive. You know, it's never the best form of defense is attack with him. It's like for like substitutions, or instead of bringing on another attacker, bring on Calafiori. You know, it's just everything is just way too built upon the margins. And I think, I don't know if people are realizing that, yes, obviously you have to look at Raya and maybe a little bit less so, but still also Gabriel for the goal that we conceded at the end. But that all starts from Arsenal panicking, not being able to keep on to the ball, not being able to pass it to each other. We're inviting pressure because Wolves are, you know, their fans are getting up for it. They're feeling like, whoa, I got one shot. Let me try to get another one. We start going into our shell. The goals that we concede start 5 to 10 minutes before they actually happen. And it usually happens after we score, which is crazy because it's almost like being in a position of power is too much pressure for them. And if you think about the fact that we've been so weird, but we've been ahead this whole time, you only have to look at it and say, like, they don't view pressure as a privilege. They don't lean into being the best team, or being they'd rather be the smaller team. It's giving small, you know, every time.
Where's the respect in your I hear you, Justin. You're not wrong here, but yesterday, the only difference I would say yesterday, where's the self-respect? Forget the fans who traveled up there and the fans like yourself all over the world that, you know, are adjusting their time zones to be involved. Yeah. Where's the pride in the performance? Football decided in both ends. Is that the goals you want to concede? And then the amount of goals you think you should score in the midfield.
It's beyond pride. They can't get into the pride of playing for Arsenal and living up to they can't get beyond that because their fear is too big.
It's like a kid losing his mum in a grocery store.
They're so up here that they can't even get into the, you know, the last-ditch tackles and the playing for pride and all that. That's beyond that. Like, they're up here.
Pretenders.
They're scared shitless. When they go ahead, they're more scared than at an even game state. That says it all to me. They are afraid to live up to the responsibility of being the team that's going to break this trophy drought. They're so scared. Because look at every single time that we had an opportunity to go 9 points clear. We haven't done it.
And guess what? The North London derby is going to be played after City versus Newcastle. So you're going to know where you stand. I can think it's over. Jess says she thinks it's over. They can't believe that.
They are so scared. And Arsenal this season, they are the worst team you've ever seen a goal up.
What's that, like 10 points dropped in 21 out of 21 or something from winning positions?
Yeah, the worst team. And that was happening last season, by the way, and we blamed all the injuries on that.
They blamed injuries in the Chelsea game. Fans see the same movie and then act surprised, like, because you lot are not honest. They're genuinely dishonest. I wanted to ask you as well, just what do you make of this? Shout out, Charles. DG, I did try and sit down and relook our recent howlers since January 2026. I cannot fathom anything else apart from defense crumbling. It's neither attack nor midfield nor the manager in the dugout.
I think they're just, yes, they're not defending as well as they were last season and at the beginning of this season. But how much longer can we expect them to have to keep clean sheets for us to win games?
And
the margins are way too fine. When's the last time that we've played a game like Luton Town a couple of seasons ago, where we beat them by 4-3? Yes, Raya had the worst game he's ever had in an Arsenal shirt on that day, but the attack or the players in general bailed them out. It's so unbelievably rare to find that with Arsenal now. They have to almost keep a clean sheet in order for us to get anything from a game, because the attack is it's so under the level. I said this the other day. If we were to win the league with this attack, it would be a miracle because it is so I don't want to say it's bad, but
No, it is.
it's not a Premier League like winning attack
And I ain't
in the
got
way
no,
that
I ain't
it
got no
functions
sympathy
or
for
in the level
Arteta,
of
Jess.
talent.
I ain't got sympathy for Arteta with that. I love
And I
Martinelli to
don't
bits,
either.
but you have him in this team. You brought Madueke, even if you don't think they're bad players. If you're looking under the guise of getting over a line, they've not got inevitability. They don't have numbers. Saka is the only one, and probably Kai Havertz, out of everyone who plays up front. Fair enough, Gyökeres has to answer his own stuff, but it was never set up. Everybody who cuts the crap, and do you know how fucking naive some people are? If you genuinely thought, oh, we missed a lot of tappings, if we get a striker, it's going to work. You never saw that. You never saw that. So Gyökeres is stinking up the place. Martinelli stinking up the place. Madueke is stinking up the place. Jesus is overly stinking up the place. And Jesus pissed me off yesterday as well. I understand why you wanted to get at Mascaria. Don't fucking show me fight after the game. That's what you should have been doing when it started. Arteta built this. The good about this football team and the bad have to go with the gaffer. Make no mistake. These players, some of you are big enough, old enough, and ugly enough for us to stop talking about these things. I think that's a cop-out personally, Charles, because yes, typically you make mistakes in defense. It's more fatal. But you could say how much times we see man missing tap-ins. Goals change games and change game states at any given opportunity. They've not done that. And I'm not going to get out my defense. We're all in this together. No one can have smoke for my defense with when the last 2-3 years they've been fucking dragging this club. Who else has? The midfield is indifferent. I love Zubi. First season tax, it's a bit meaty. Rice, you need to bring yourself to the fore. Martin Odegaard and Eze. I Odegaard's irrelevant yesterday. I'm talking about Saka in the 10. I'm talking about Kai Havertz playing in midfield. And you yourself know, Jess, how much I hate that. Spare pretenders. It's sometime-ish. Man don't want it enough. If we want to get to a stage we've never been, you need to be something. And this goes to the gaffer that we've never been. If nothing changes, nothing changes. But like Jess said, when we're winning, everyone wants to do the cop-out thing of, oh, yeah, it's all right. And this, no, it's only now people want to have chat. And you know what the saddest thing is? It's still all to play for. I think it's all over. My players cannot afford to think like that. As much as I'm an Arsenal fan and it means the world to me, it's you lot that are going to be sat in that dressing room with a familiar feeling. And what do we always say as well? Oh, we got 12, 13 cup finals. Is that how you play a cup final? Because you got a real one next month. Say no more.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to go into, if they go into that cup final after letting City get ahead of them, they're going to show their fucking asses in that final.
Let your nuts hang,
like,
bro.
They just don't have the mentality. And then when you don't have the mentality, then the coaching, it needs to be much better. And then we've seen that there's, at least when it comes to problems that we've seen over the last 2 seasons, they have not been addressed. Inability to access central spaces, to create waves of pressure, to create high quality chances for attackers. All that's been gone. So once you remove the set pieces and good defense, you can see that Arteta's let a lot of things fester for a minute because he's so focused on throw-ins and shit like that. Our fundamentals are not good enough. They're not good enough. So you can blame everything. I don't think there's any department that doesn't get any blame. You know, the players, the coaches, everybody. You know, but ultimately, like, they've gotten themselves into a good position and they're squandering it but we didn't lose.
And this is what I want, and this is the problem, because the draws do feel like defeats. Yes, we never lost, we got points, but you're going to have so much feelings of regret. And I feel like I'm doing Jess a disservice, you lot in the chat a disservice, because I keep saying the same things I genuinely believe year in, year out. Yes, there is occasions where you can't win, don't lose. When we're at our best, not that we've been at our best, there's something, but to win a Premier League, there's 38 games. Sometimes you're going to be shit. And granted, there's been times we've been shit, we've been grabbing points. Now's not the time to collapse, especially on the road away from home. You got Spurs that finally have an opportunity to, rather than twerk for rivals, slap you in your face. I'm not concerned in the North London derby because you'll be up for it. Chelsea makes me a bit nervous. Brighton makes me a bit nervous. What has Kay said here? We can't say it's done, bro, when we're 5 points ahead. Also, all these people on City's nuts but support a rival team are embarrassing. If we win it, it would have been the hard way, but that's Arsenal. What do you make of that?
I mean, it's, again, going back to the initial conversation that we had, is the fact that a lot of people feel like it's over, rivals and Arsenal fans, shows how nobody really believes this team can do it, even from a positive position. Everybody felt like City needs to be bad and we need to get a big lead because we can't be trusted. So that's more about who they've shown themselves to be over the last 5 seasons than the fans. Like that don't have nothing to do with us. I'm just my feelings on Arsenal are fully based on my historical,
What you
like
fucking
the
see.
history. Like the fuck? And most people are like, when people are, oh, I don't think City are going to be perfect. They don't
Don't need to
have
be.
to be perfect to beat us to a league, because we showed in that 3-game period that if they drop points, we'll drop more. They drop points in 3 games in a row. Guess what? We've dropped in like 5 games in a row, or not 5 games, but like we dropped more in that period where they were bad.
And
Our
everyone's
whole
screaming,
thought
go on a
process
run.
is, well, City's not good enough. Guys, they don't have to be good to beat us to a league. Liverpool didn't have to be good to beat us to a league
And we
either.
shoot ourselves in the foot. And that's the thing.
The fuck?
That's the thing, Jess. That's the thing, Jess, because when I look, if I'm a City man, and which I'm not, yeah, and they win the league, and I'm talking if I'm a City player, the turning point is going to be the result at Anfield, which has got nothing to do with us. We all know it was all dodgy in the game. If they lost that, it would have went left. They've got the boost. If we do not win this league, there's plenty of times we can talk about City at the Emirates where you should have won. We can talk about the 2 against Liverpool, or holding on against Sunderland, or holding on to a point against Aston Villa. See the theme, people: conceding late goals, game management. Football's decided in both ends. You cannot behave like you haven't seen this. We're going to look back at this period. I can write Brentford off. Yesterday peed me off. I don't even want to be that guy. Wolves are bottom. You're 2 goals up. You're 2 goals up. We always say another cliche because we've been wheeling them off. Oh, no, anyone can beat anyone. It's difficult in the Premier League. Big up Wolves and Rob Edwards coming from 2 goals down, doing what they want to do. Did you hear him talking about Arsenal are going to feel pressure, and that he's bang on the money? Because Jess has been so great with bringing statistics, yeah? Another one which sums up what we've been doing as a team. We need to stop equating possession and domination with not doing the most important things. The most important statistics are putting the game beyond reasonable doubt, scoring 3, 4, 5 even, and getting 3 points. But Jess, again, was great in our WhatsApp chat, and she said, well, she sent me a group chat of Arsenal, screenshot. Arsenal had 49% of possession and 1 shot on target in the second half. They played 163 accurate passes compared to 180 from Wolves. What do I say to that, Jess? Like,
I don't know. It's just
Mazza.
Yeah. When I'm watching us, especially like these last 2 games, it's been there the whole time, but these last 2 games in particular, Arsenal have lost all ability to just pass the ball around. Well, when they get under pressure, it's even worse. But the collective technical level has dropped, and it's so much more obvious when we're under pressure. For Wolves to have more possession than us is just wild. They were pushing for the win while we were holding on for dear life. And I just hate the feeling that if I were to show somebody that's never seen football before and say, that's the team in first place and that's the team in last place, they would have been shocked by that second half when they watched it. They'd be
You
like,
don't
that's
win a
the
Premier
best
League,
team
you
in
go
the
out and
league.
claim it, and we ain't done that. Like, that's a
We
great
don't
point.
play
You
like
wouldn't
the
have
best
thought we're
team in the
top and all of that.
We don't play like the best team in the league. So yeah, I felt like, this was our best chance to win the league because this was not the best City team that we've seen, and we have the depth and we got ourselves a little cushion. But I don't think this team is anywhere near as good as some of the other teams that we've had. This team just has a little bit more depth, but they're genuinely so bad at just passing the ball. Like, it's actually so sad. They can't break down teams. They need a clinic with Arsene Wenger like fucking
It's
yesterday.
stagnant.
It's
But we knew this
madness
going
watching
into the
this team
season.
play. You guys
We knew this
cannot
going
pass
into
the
the
ball.
season, Jess.
Shocking.
How can anyone be? We've stagnated. There's nothing, 2022.
We have not
23.
stagnated. We've regressed.
Well, even regress, whichever one. They're both what I don't want to hear. Innit? I want to hear progress. 2022, 23, great attacking football. And I'll even cut Arteta and the boys some slack in that regard, because everyone looks at the attacking football with rose tints in it. We was on knife edge defensively. A lot of the times, Ramsdale's making mad saves. So one, that tells me Arteta can fucking coach attacking football. You're not going to do it. But 2, we needed to improve defensively, which we did the other year, which the second year. Now that brings us into last year, which would have been the third year. Complete right or fucking shit. Cool, we beat Real Madrid. That's the only high. Put that in the trophy cabinet. This year, complete stagnation, regression, whatever you want to call it. It's not the direction we need to move, which is forward. There's been times where we've obviously done well. The Champions League, there's no smoke. Premier League, we're winging it. And that goes to the gaffer, the coaches, and every one of those players. Nobody can show me a single player on a consistent basis in that midfield or in the final third that have done it for the majority of the season. What shocks have we had? Martinelli as a kind of rotation option, but we all know you start him, you're in problems. Trossard's form's probably been the one spanner in the works. Cool, we signed Eze and we got Gyökeres, and they're both struggling. But we all knew there was an offensive tax that had to be placed at the feet of Mikel Arteta.
You have to also look at Arteta and say, did you do absolutely everything in your power to make sure that those two players became like that? You changed your system enough for those two players? I think he kind of tried in the beginning and half-assed it, but as soon as there was a little bit of pressure, which was like immediately, he went back to the way that we usually play. And then we got injuries to his normal players, Saka and Odegaard out all the time. That hurt him, Kai Havertz out. And so he's trying to play the old way that he would play with Kai Havertz and Odegaard with Eze and Gyökeres. I know that we didn't sign Eze to the very end, but he never really leaned into, if you don't pass the ball to Gyökeres, you're coming out. He never did that, not one time. I was like, you should be telling every single one of those players, if you don't try to get that ball to Gyökeres, I'm taking you off. I don't care if it's in the 20th minute. I don't care. We never really lent into it. So now it's like the attack is weird. The players that he would normally rely upon, which is, it started to become abundantly clear that he cannot, the attack cannot attack without Kai Havertz, which is ridiculous. If he doesn't have Kai Havertz and a fit Odegaard and a fit Saka, it's bones. It's bones. He can't make Eze work or Gyökeres work. And I know that maybe with Gyökeres, he may not be at the tip-top level, but I refuse to believe that he's as bad as no shots yesterday. That's not on him.
And exactly, and that's a common theme. You've got a service-reliant striker, service. You slap Gyökeres in a couple of other Premier League teams. You might feel the same way, but he'd score a lot more goals. So he really understanding these players. At best, the only things I've seen differently, as Jess just said there, when Kai was back, him and Gyökeres, we got a bit of a tune out of it. Fair enough, 2 games in a row, I've seen Bukayo. And that's where I get pissed off with the gaffer. Game management. Wigan, I would have said, at best, he would have got 45 minutes in the second half against Wigan, probably half an hour. Cool. There was an injury to Calafiori, who's back now, obviously. He got 45. I thought he would have got an hour against Wolves. You didn't take him off. Timber looked knackered. Zubi looked knackered. Between Martinelli and Madueke, more so Martinelli, who I actually think started the game quite well for half an hour and then went off a cliff. It's slow. It's reactive. Why is Trossard not starting? Fair enough. I'm not privy to anything around injury. It was shocking that
Trossard did not start yesterday.
Why?
Because we've already established that Martinelli is not a starter in this team in the Premier League.
Exactly.
But he went back to the worst version of our front three and said that's going to work. He does not prioritize chemistry or profiles that fit together, or even just simple. Martinelli starts the Champions League. Trossard starts the Prem. Why is it? What was it? Did Martinelli's finish against fucking Wigan enough for you to start him against Wolves? Like, he makes the weirdest fucking choices.
But Jess, this is where I don't get mad at the players. As much as I hold them accountable, and some will understand, some will accuse me of being a bit hypocritical. We're trying to win the Premier League. We're trying to get over to certain lands. We know what we think about Noni. Fair enough, he's just signed. We know our frustrations around Trossard. We know our frustrations about Gyökeres. We know our frustrations, and we've been here with Martinelli. This is like building your house on the sand. Cool, these mammals, like on paper, you actually look in all comps. These men have scored goals. When you look beneath the hood, he's got 1 goal. Now, Nelly has to hold his hand up and say, what am I doing? But it's like what we said last week and the week before. You slap all of these players and their goal scoring records. They're not collectively doing it in the Prem. What is going on? So you either fucking get to high levels defensively or you kill games. And the players, I see kids. Honestly, to the players, don't like, just because I've gone heavy on Arteta, the players, I see pussios and I see kids. I see people who, I'm not going to be naive. I know you care, but you can't tell me you care when you play like that. You can't be 2 goals up and behave like that. You're meant to be one of the best defensive sides in Europe. At best, I should be bitching about, we won 2-1. There's cracks in the armor. You got the 3 points less than me. I don't believe you deserve to win a Premier League title if you cannot win that game. Now you have to beat Chelsea. You have to beat Spurs. You have to beat Brighton.
And now when's the last time that we've done that? When's the last time that we got to this stage? I remember in the 21-22 season, we got to this stage because we had messed up so much that we needed to beat Tottenham away from home and also Newcastle away from home to make it into the top 5. And guess what we did? Or top 4. We lost
Right,
both.
that was dark. That was a dark period. Yellow kits. Because I remember
Yeah, it's
Spurs
like
bought some players in January, and that was the Vlahovic January. I'm sure.
it was
Dark.
this is what I'm saying. People are like, it's not over, but it's like they've never gotten to the stage where they have to go somewhere and win after they messed up at easier grounds and actually done it. So fuck them. Like they need to actually start proving that they can do it. I'm so tired of people blaming the fans for not having faith. The fans had lots of faith in the first 2
Don't
years.
come to the
And
parade if you don't believe. Shut the fuck
yeah,
up,
I don't.
man. Please.
So are the Arsenal fans the reason why they couldn't do anything against Wolves? Like, come on, man.
And the
Like,
away fans support the thing heavy. So what am I talking about? And Sadiq, you're right. Arteta always speaks about fine margins, but for the last 3 years, I've said why are we never on the right side of fine margins? Because you look at PSG statistically, we're actually not out of it. You look at it yesterday, we probably should have won. You look at the United game, we probably should have just by the data, we should have got something. Why are we not on the right side of the margins? Why? Because data is half the job. The eye test is the other. The players are not street smart enough. Arteta is not pivoting enough. We have this Arsenal thing about shooting ourselves in the foot. And unfortunately, if it goes the way I think it is, I don't know where we go because 4 years in a row, second, things need to change, whether it gets better or worse. Like there needs to be a new voice or something of that ilk. And you know what the saddest thing is? You shot yourselves in the foot. City took last season off. They're by no means amazing. They're back again. You lot are making you lot are being handed a Premier League indirectly. You lot are being handed one, you know, like you have to try really hard not to win this Premier League trophy.
I mean, Slot won his gimme Premier League.
See what
He
I'm saying?
won his, but Arteta can't win his. And like, I get it that yes, the players need to take responsibility, but the risk-averse way that Arsenal play does not lend itself to players that are not elite. Like when you have a team that doesn't have a lot of elite players, you need to maximize those margins as much as possible by playing a style that is going to allow them to get into those positions more often and let them relax. Arteta's got them in a situation where the players that he would need to have is like a prime AC Milan team. Like everybody is world class, so that if you get one chance, it's going to be one goal because you
Give
got
me the
Kaká on
City
your
team,
team.
like the Haalands and all of them, Kevins and all of them when
Yeah,
they're in their pump. Which you're not
he
gonna get. He's
coaches
too
like
spoiled,
he
man.
has
Fuck
this.
that. Make it work.
Yeah, I get it. They need to take responsibility for their performances. But you'd be lying to say that you think that this style of play and the risk-averse nature of it is lending itself to a title-winning team. You would need much better players for that.
And you know what's so
You
funny,
would.
Jess? Because people forget, yeah, winning a league is also about how good are you at your worst. We ain't seen us at our best. Have you seen us at our worst? Shit.
Yeah, I love this team, and I think that they could win a title, but the way that we're going now, it's like even difficult. Like I get that. Like, so what do we do? I don't really know because we should have fixed this a long time ago. Like we've slowly kind of just went into this crash that was kind of the rupture started in like late December. So I don't know what you do because all I know them to do is at this point implode, allow City to get in front of them, and then they'll relax again. It's
And that's unacceptable.
Arteta probably, I don't know if Arteta thinks we're fine and they're just not performing and living up to it, but he hasn't really changed shit at all. He's doubled down on everything that's not been great so far. You know, bad fullback pairings. Why? What has White done to you? I need to, because why aren't they asking those questions in the press conference? What has White done to you?
Because you
To
lose your
make it
media
such
access.
that
You're not going to
you
answer
feel like
questions
it's
that
okay to
actually
run
matter.
Timber into the ground? What has Norgard done? Why can't they play? Why do you hate them? Genuinely, I need to know.
Because them man can by nature, like one's Norgard is not, he can pass the ball, but he's not known for what he can do in the final third. White's a right back. They're conservative players. So as I can understand, oh, there's a this and that. Bring them on. You're running man into the ground. You have ran men into the ground. You cannot stand in the rain and complain while you're wet. You either get an umbrella, you find shelter, or you fucking look at the weather and don't go out. We're doing neither of that. And Arteta, I give you, there's so much things to praise you about. There's so many things. I remember when I sat here with Jess in August, yeah, and I said, like his tactics. He's gone toe to toe with them and they in Europe. He's made the big decisions. He has shown big bollocks to take this job and take us to where we can. But you're a good manager. Are you a winning manager? We are now in winning mode. You're not doing that. And in the same way, Wenger built the house. Maybe you've painted it. Maybe a next man comes in and keyword turns it from being a house to a home. Everything needs to be up to debate. Because I thought we came into this season knowing the gloves are off. We have to get over the line. People on social media are drawing out Burton now, but you was all sucking him off for the 8 players. Oh my God, Gyökeres, we got the one we wanted. Eze, this and that. The players have to take responsibility. The gaffer's got it all. It's all there. And I know he knows this. Unpopular opinion. I don't think Arteta is a dickhead. I think you don't want to change these things for whatever reason. So I'm onto you more. If I thought you was like Amarin and you're out of your depth, you're just mad, I would allow you. You deserve this. And even just because you mentioned Wolves at home, yeah, like the way he spoke, the way the players spoke, if you wanted to be complacent and you wanted to think about the North London derby, Wolves ain't the game for that. You've got lived experiences. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to say.
Arteta can't change things because he's so scared. Like, he thinks that this style, because it limits the amount that you lose, is better than changing to a style that maybe the margins don't go in your favor, but you could potentially win more. He's scared shitless. And my problem with this now is that he's taken us to a certain point. And I think we're all on the same page that if he were to not win a major trophy this season, he would need to go. But I feel like even the reason why he feels so comfortable not changing is because he knows he's not going to go. I feel like if you're scared for your job, you'd be changing things all the time. You would be, taking more risk. You would be dropping players that aren't playing well. But it just kind of feels as though
you'd be attacking your own principles as well.
Yeah, he's like, this is fine. And when we were not playing well against like Wolves at home, but we won, I just feel like the overall message should be, yeah, we won, but that wasn't good enough. But it just always feels like there's this, and maybe it's just front facing. It's okay because we won. They said that Arteta said they had a beautiful meeting after United beat us at home. Is this the product of a beautiful meeting? No more beautiful meetings. No more, if you can't win, don't lose. It is unacceptable to play the way that we've been playing pretty much since the middle of December. It's been unacceptable to me. I'm sorry. Like, it just is. It's unacceptable. And unfortunately, because there's so many people that just accept the fact that we're not losing, it makes it good, but it's just not.
Both are lives,
and I'm not even talking about playing Arsene Wenger aesthetics football. It's not really about that, but I would do anything to go back to at least what the fuck we were doing in 23-24. That team does not drop points to Wolves. They were putting their bodies on the line. They were getting those clean sheets. They were emptying stadiums at this point. And maybe it was a little bit of them. They were chasing City, so the pressure was kind of off of them. But this iteration sucks.
Do you know what it is for me, Jess? You're bang on the money. It fucking sucks. Do you know what it is for me? They call you bottlers, and shit, they might be right. And I'm gonna bring up a screenshot because I want your thoughts. But before I expand, I'm gonna say Arsenal. I actually don't think you're bottlers. They call you bottlers. They say you can't get over the line. They're very critical. Nobody rates, and I'm not talking about Arsenal fans, but nobody rates our players. No one rates the gaffer. You've proven them right at the moment, and you've proven them right in the last 2 years. So coming into this year, I know there's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be times where you lose your confidence. You're not just going to go up there, but be a bit fearless. If you know people don't rate you, and this is what I've been maintaining on TalkSport, on ITV, on YouTube, on anywhere, I'm not seeing that. And now I look like a dickhead because now it's my fault because I put my belief in you. I thought you lot were built for something that you're not. You man are good youths. You're a good team. You're never going to be a great team because you don't have that nastiness. You don't have that drive. I'm sure you're trying. I'm not accusing you of that. But I have to take the lazy view as a fan. I'm not at London Coley. It's not my business what you lot are talking about. As Jess said, that beautiful meeting, that's your business. My job is to be a decent human being. Are we playing on Wednesday? Whatever, the weekend, do your job. And you're giving it away cheaply. I would still be vexed if you lost to Wolves and take nothing away from Wolves. Mm-hmm. But if I went bloody hell, you gave everything. It just weren't our day. It is what it is. Too often than not, that's not the case. Man United were great at the Emirates by their own things. But again, shooting yourselves in the foot. Where's the game management? I look around this squad, probably an average age of 26. You're all capped by your countries. You're not little boys. Lewis Skelly can't get a look in. Wanyeri shipped off on loan. Dowman, obviously, he's young. You're grown men. And that should drive you, because the discipline, you need to have discipline. Discipline hurts in life, but it hurts a lot less than regret. And you lot are going to have to sit there and May, you know. You're going to have to sit there and May.
I mean,
I don't know for this.
Martinelli was doing the 2-1 to their fans. They caught him on camera doing that shit. And at the end of the
Make
game,
sure you win.
He couldn't even, like, it's just there. Yesterday was just horrendous. Like, it genuinely was. They showed their ass. Like, they really did. They were so shit. And they showed such a horrendous, you know, it's like when somebody shows you like a version of themselves, like you just cannot, it just sticks with you. And I feel like that was so bad, because it wasn't even like you could say, well, it was a good Brentford team. The level of performance was genuinely so bad that I look at so many of them, including the players that I really rate, so differently after that performance.
They're good youths, man. They're good youths. They're nice guys. And even you, Mikel, yeah. If I park off what I feel about you, because I actually like you, Arteta. If I isolate you from Arsenal, yeah, I actually like a lot about you. But in your own evolution, we hear a lot about he doesn't like superstars and attitudes, and that it don't matter what manager you are. The ones at Real Madrid, Wenger, Alex Ferguson, you're going to have to learn to deal with difficult characters, which when we're doing our analysts and our stuff around recruitment, I don't really care if they're married or if they're virgin. Are they cunts on a football pitch? Bring them to the club. That's what we need. Also, you look at, I remember I wanted Ryan Cherky. A lot of people were saying, oh my God, he's not an Arteta player. It working for Pep. He's had to do something. Haaland the same. You've been given everything. It's a bit spoiled. And big up JT. Like GD is dropping in it. Like we're doing the data thing too much. It's jarring.
I mean, your eye test can tell you that though. Your eye test can tell you that this team is not as good as the 23-24 team. They're not. They're not. They're way worse. They're not emptying stadiums. They can't beat anybody except for Leeds badly. They can't. Going life and death at home with Wolves. Life and death with Wolves.
Twice.
Can't beat Nottingham Forest, who hadn't won a game in like 11 games. Life and death. That team beat City at home, by the way.
And we don't smell blood, man. That's the thing. We never smell blood. And you know what annoys me? Yeah, you don't have to do much. I know every fan base will say this, but when you deep it, you don't have to do much to beat Arsenal. Everybody can be lazy and tell me about Szoboszlai's free kick against Liverpool, which it was great. Anyone who was genuinely watching that game and saw it, you could tell shit needed to be changed before Zubimendi gave away that free kick. Manchester City capitalized on us going to sleep and then obviously defended relatively well in the second half. We was probably only fearless because we was chasing the game. At Sunderland, didn't have to do much to get points off us. Aston Villa did not have to do much to get points off us. Brentford, the lack of street smartness. You're giving throw-ins away in dangerous areas. You put your hand in fire, you're going to get burnt. And there's plenty of other examples. Manchester United, when you concede the first goal, you should say, okay, let's fix up. When you make it 2-2, cool, let's fix up. It's a great goal from Cunha. Arteta's changes have actually stopped us in that regard. And what annoys me is we're in the ugly part of the season. You need Kai, you need Marino, but I don't want to hear about injuries. I don't, because it happens to everyone. We've got a couple questions, Jess, man. Realistically, which games do you see us winning for the remainder of this season?
I don't know. I don't. Because this version of Arsenal can literally drop points to anyone. We've seen it. So.
All right, let's do it like this. Do we beat Spurs? Well, Spurs win, lose, draw. Where you at?
We're dropping points. Sorry.
Yeah, win, lose,
we probably won't lose, but we'll drop points.
I'll go for a W there. Chelsea.
Probably draw.
I'll go with a draw there. Brighton away.
Draw.
Loss. All right, Mansfield, we think we're going to win. Respectfully to Mansfield. Everton away. Everton at home, apologies.
We'll win that game.
I'm going to go draw. Cup final, everything crossed. Areola's men, Bournemouth at home.
Tough game. Probably draw.
Nick a win. I'll give it them. Nick a win. It wouldn't surprise me if they draw, but Nick a win. City away. which assuming we won all of these games, it probably come down to that.
We'll need to win that game. Based on my calculation, we'll need to win that game.
And that's why I
and
have
we
no
will
hope.
not. So it's giving a draw.
Loss for me. Newcastle at home.
I'm trying not to think of like the worst case scenario.
Oh, man, just however
But we
you feel,
usually
how
have
you
the
feel,
worst
Jess.
case scenario. Oddly, they might beat us at home.
I'd imagine with pressures off at that point, we probably would have accepted that, City have won the league. So I'm going to give them the W in it there. Fulham at home.
We'll win that game.
Yeah, win. West Ham away.
We'll win that game.
I'll go with a W. Burnley at home.
We'll win that game.
And the last day of the season against Crystal Palace.
We'll win that game.
I'll go with that as well. So that answers your question. We got another one. Do you think you'll be challenging for the league again next season? How long can Arsenal stay at second plateau before the fall loss, assuming you were to finish second this May? We've already fallen off. If you look at the 4 years, God forbid, but assuming it's been 4 years, including this year, like Jess has been saying, we're nowhere near the 2022-23, and we weren't even expected there. The next year was definitely a lot better.
Listen,
last year is probably the worst, admittedly, of the 4. So we've had 2 good kind of years, 2 dead years. I still think we'll be up there, but I don't know where
this is
where
the
we turn.
problem with Arsenal is that something has to change, and the problem is we will, by the time they decide that, like, let's say we don't win the league, they will decide 3 or 4 years from now that it's time to move on from Mikel. When you need to move on from him now. If he doesn't win, you need to move on from him now. There's all these fans that believe that all our good players will leave if Mikel's not here. They fucking signed for Arsenal Football Club. Like, they're not going anywhere, So if you get a good manager that's better than him, you can salvage this group, because it's not that they're terrible. They're missing key things in attack that we keep missing every year. But the core of this team is still very, very good. And you have to change the manager.
Do you know what the saddest thing is? 98% of what Arteta is doing, I like it, and we need to keep it. The defending, all the stuff I'm moaning about, that added 10. Well, I said 90%. That 10% that gets us over the line. All the things we've been bitching about in the 57th minute, 57 minutes we've been here, he's not bringing it. So it's not that down. It's not as hard as people are making out. As much as I like Arteta, bro, you was working for Pep Guardiola when this club took a punt. So if you could take a punt on a coach, where fair enough, they might have been privy to info we don't necessarily know, the club have shown that they can be proactive in that regards. There's no way you can't have your cake and eat it, innit? And I hope to God we look back in May, Jess, and we're saying, you know what, Jess, we was moving mad the Wolves away, man. We thought it was all over, but it does look like the writing's on the wall. And there's been different players. He's been given money. Bert has come in. Contracts have been signed, as Jess said. At some point, you have to look at the gaffer. The good, the bad, and the ugly on the pitch is a reflection of the gaffer. And not only that, he's not a head coach like Liam Reznor and them, man. He is so important. He's not that there's a big case study, but he's getting the power Wenger got. Like, genuinely, like you have such a say in everything. It sounds silly, but even things like the Emirates, remove the tunnel, which I'm with. With great power comes great responsibility,
Yeah,
Jarring.
For sure. And the other thing with Mikel that really scares me is that I think a lot of his inability to beat City to a title is because he's still in that respect mode. I don't like that Arteta just seems to have this inability to get over that. And I think we just need, if it doesn't work out this season, we need a manager that has no connection to City, so that they can just stand up and beat them. It's just too respectful. And I think a lot of Mikel's problems stem from him overthinking or over-respecting people. Playing 2 DMs against Wolves says kind of it all. And Hincapié and Timber. He thinks that every game is a toss-up because he makes it a toss-up. It's
You don't
crazy.
change things quick enough.
Yeah, so love you, Mikel, but if you don't win it this season, you need to go. We need to move in a different direction. I need a manager that is not shit scared of Pep and City and just will get the attack going so that I don't have to watch life and death with every fucking team in the Prem. Because my God.
And what I would say to the players, if you really back Mikel, because you do. Well, you tell us you do. You can't back him. You're letting him down. If you really back your manager, you don't fucking behave like this. Because it's all great to back a manager or fall into something when it's all working. If you really fuck with Arteta like you tell us, we could all think he's the worst thing since sliced bread. If you man genuinely believe in him, you don't perform how you've been performing, and you definitely don't perform like yesterday. Question is, where do we go from here? Is it too late to start doing changes? Because for me, the sign should have been addressed long ago. Unpopular opinion, I don't think Arteta leaves if we don't win silverware. So for me,
Right.
I've kind of checked out, bro. Like if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. In it, like
Oh,
it's my
next,
fault for believing
if
in you, man.
they keep him and he hasn't won, I am going to be just like I was during the Emery era. After his first season, I was very casual. I was like, until this team gets serious, I will not be serious about you. Casual, check the score. Did we win? Rewatch it. If not, fuck it. Because I cannot give time to somebody that does not care about my mental health. They don't give a shit about me. I don't care.
There's always
So
tomorrow. That's the
yeah, I
jarring thing
just
about this club, Jess. It's always tomorrow. Well,
yeah, and
individuals who speak, it's always
honestly,
tomorrow.
I could see a lot of people becoming extremely empathetic, or not empathetic, apathetic to this team if nothing changes after the season and we don't win. Sorry.
If you lot want to win, great. And you know what the saddest thing is? I only get excited around winning or negative, like if we was in relegation when I can see it. You lot have made us think, yo, it's not just a pipe dream, dreaming about the Highbury days. You've been there. You're literally closer to getting over the line than going the other way. But if you lot don't want it enough, then it is what it is. T love for the super chat in the 87th minute. Why were players confused as to who's taking the corner? Them asking Hover who should take it is quite embarrassing. At them kind of moments, I get it. You have to listen to the gaffer. But that's where man need to stand up. Real Madrid, why did Rice score that free kick? Because he went off script. Players, you're big enough, you're old enough. Some of you are dads, you've all got big bollocks. Flex their muscles, bro. This is not little kids' business. It's not. Because the way I'm feeling, I want to start Dalman, somehow bring Ranieri back, start Miles Lewis-Skelly, because no one else ain't doing nothing. What's going on? Joke, man.
Yeah, they're too focused on things that are just like, who cares? Just take the fucking corner. They took a corner at the end of the game that was a short fucking corner, and I thought they have completely lost the plot. You have all those big tall men in that team, and the thing that you decide to do is take a whack ass short corner. I'm sorry, but like no. No.
See what I'm saying? What do you make of this? Arteta will be going straight to City if he leaves Arsenal. Careful what you wish for.
I don't care, because if you don't win anything for us, it doesn't matter if you win things with them.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Can we win it within the remit here?
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I really don't. I am not an Arteta, like, he's more important than the club. I need a manager that's going to win things. And at the very least, if you're not going to win things, don't make my fucking eyes bleed. Like, I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm tired, Mom. Yeah, and I agree with Razzle. City would not touch Arteta at this stage.
You reckon? Why not?
I just don't think that.
Slightly be on the shortlist. What if Pep left today and Arteta left his job? He wouldn't be on the shortlist.
I don't think so.
You reckon? If Maresca's there, surely.
Well, Maresca doesn't play this. I don't think he could go to City and play. He's too influenced by Moyes. I think people still think he's some child of Pep. That guy is the most. He has no arson except for the stubbornness he gets from Arsene. But he got nothing from Pep. He got everything from Moyes. No. I don't think so. Sorry.
Arteta, please, man, please. And if you're gonna leave, I know it's a dream, but bring me Luis Enrique.
And I just don't know how anybody can say that this is reactionary when it's been 5 years and he's not won anything since his first season. Like, that's a long time. A lot has changed in my life since Arteta has been manager. But nothing has changed with Arsenal.
He's gaslighting. That's gaslighting. T, I love you. You're one of the mods, but that is That's grade A gaslighting. That's all. For me, that's the men that come out here and say, don't be at the parade if you don't win the title. Like, anyone can fucking tell anybody anything. Like, no, I get it. The guy's a good manager. I'm not saying throw all the toys in the Premier.
Yeah, he is a good coach.
But fam, like, no, it don't mean you know more about ball because you're doing the maths thing. Like, it is what it is. It's just a difference of opinion.
And this is. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna bring up Rob's question.
Um,
Without being too dramatic or reactionary, how much of this downfall is actually percentage-wise on the manager versus the player's performance on the pitch? I'm actually curious. What do you two think it is? It's 50-50 for me off the bat, bro, because the manager can take you there.
yeah.
He can't play in it. And I don't feel the players are street smartness. But then kind of bringing it back to him like yesterday, bro, you can see things, you can smell things. Now, granted, there's been times I want Arteta to change shit. And that might have been the wrong thing. But yesterday you could see it with Ben White. Well, Ben White, Timber coming on, with Zubi coming off, with Saka needing to come off, Nelly needed to come off, Madueke needed to come off. I don't disagree with the Jesus sub, I'll be real. But yeah, that kind of way. And we keep saying these things.
Let me say it this way. I don't know if I can 100% give a percentage, but I think this exact team with a different manager could win the league. I think Arteta with a different team would have the same problems because he's had a different team almost every single year, except for the 23-24 season. He's gotten new players and he's repeating the same issues. He's misusing his squad. He can't figure out how to get the attack going. You know, it's just he has no players in form right now. You know, so from my perspective, it's like, yeah, if you gave this exact team to another manager, they could get us over the line in the state in which this league is right now, where you would just need to win maybe like 2 more games than you've won so far and glide on to the end. But he could get different players and still not be able to figure it out because he's overthinking fucking everything. So I think
even
he's
this,
more of the
talking
issue
about buying
now.
stuff in January, bro, you had the summer, bro. You had the summer. You never got a left winger. That's you man's fault. We're between Berta and that. You knew what time it was. We all knew we weren't signing no one in Jan. And let's be absolutely honest. Obviously, indirectly, we could say, oh, we never won that because we need this player and that player. When we dropped points against United, twice against Liverpool, against Nottingham Forest, against Aston Villa, against Sunderland, has anybody looked at that game and been like, oh my God, we need signings, we need this? No, the tools have been there. Like, why can't we just be honest, guys and girls?
Yeah,
Why?
and he wanted Nani. So
You wanted that for 50
yeah,
million.
he likes players that he sees something in that he can coach up. He never just buys the like finished article. It's always about I can make you better. And I don't know if it's hubris because he wants to be the one to say that he unlocked a player that nobody rated, or if it's
Stop
just
shaving hoes, Arteta,
he
man.
doesn't have it. He just needed attackers that score goals. And the one that does, he can't get working. And the one he bought a winger that is known for not scoring. Like, please spare me. Like, you guys, please don't do this to me. Seriously. I
And this is
like
what
Mikel, by the way. Like,
I'm fond
I
of
want him to
Mikel.
be the one, but if he ain't, he's got to go. Like,
I don't know about anyone else just yet, but I look at Arsenal as a family or a friendship circle. Why would you barefaced lie to your brethren? I am fond. Nobody could waffle about what Mikel Arteta is good at more than me. The difference is, I think some people are apologists. If you genuinely rate him, if you genuinely rate everything he's done, if you genuinely rate this team, and cool, people can laugh, we ain't won stuff, but we've had some big games in Europe. Last few years we've competed against those in this league, and we've done some things. Cool, we've been bantered about not getting over the line yet, but we finished in the last 3 years bordering on 4th, second. So we're quite close. Why is it not fair to take all of this and say over the line? You can't have your cake and eat it. You can't big up man like this and then not ask why you're not getting. And the more time, we're not asked. We would love to be Real Madrid and all these things. There's been 4 years. You're telling me you can't bag one. We need to seize the present, and we ain't done that.
Yeah, I like. There's no way to revise history on Mikel. I think,
and this blip is
he's
horrible right
done
now. We need to
such
get
a
out of
good
it.
job, but sometimes you stay long enough to become a villain, and I stand on that. You know, he should leave. Look at that article that Arson did a couple of days ago talking about how he stayed too long. He's
Exactly.
gonna derail everything if we just, and it's not just up to him, but the club need to be serious for like 5 seconds. If he doesn't win anything, he needs to pack his shit. Like, that's it.
And you
Like,
know what? So you know what's mad about it, Jess? Yeah, like Arteta, you are forward thinking, but people would talk about stuff. You have to reinvent yourself. Fair enough, you can call him a checkbook manager. Pepe's reinvented himself. Klopp did the same. Wenger did it from his beginning of his Arsenal career, and ironically, being forward thinking, adapting, being ahead of the class in that regards, that was what Wenger was great at. That was obviously what led to his demise because he didn't go and do that. Arteta, it's not to us armchair experts. You are not changing anything. I'm sure there's probably little isms and schisms if I was part of the coaching stuff, but there's nothing of significance. You play a mid block, deep block, you be somewhat spot on defensively. We'll move it down the left, we'll move it down the right. And I've said to you before, Jess, I'm not even against that. Move it down the left, move it down the right. But you see, when it's time to go up the gears, you need to do that. But I do need to ask you, Jess, at the end of the day, it appears to be somewhat advantage City. Obviously, if they win against Newcastle, it would be obviously 2 points behind us. It is what it is. What are we saying? What do we do? How do we move from here?
It's too late to start talking about how do we do this. What could you change? He basically needs Havertz to play decent. And that guy is injured and injury prone, so it's dark. I mean, I would say at the very least, what he could do is sit Zubimendi and Timber down before he completely breaks them in half. Play Norgard for a couple games. I don't give a fuck if it's the North London Derby. I don't care if it's Chelsea. Norgard is like a captain of Brentford. Why can't he play in these games? At least he's in some semblance of form. Play him. Play White. Why is he just on the bench while Timber is just like flailing in the wind?
Use your squad.
Yeah, use your squad. And if there was ever a time to have started Eze, it was after he got those 2 assists against Wigan. And Arteta followed that up with playing Saka out of position, which that's what it was. He played him out of position instead of just playing Eze and Saka. He could have played Eze on the wing and Saka in the 10, or he could have just played Saka on the right and Eze in the 10.
Doesn't want to deviate away from his framework.
1 minute, just play normal and just try to at least reignite players that are like dead. Like, can you just try? Like, and I've been harsh on Eze, but if there was ever a time, it was after that fucking Wigan game, and he dropped him.
People were slagging off Eze yesterday. Obviously, everyone was shit, but I'm sorry, I find it very difficult to be throwing them kind of man under the bus. Like, they've come off the bench, bro. Like, and if we're, for me, I'll be real. Everybody's got to hold smoke, and I get it, but you lot talk about looking forward. You're talking about league finishes before Mikel. Something's got to change. We could get better, we could get worse, but you have to take a chance because the alternative, if it maintains like this, and we hope that this is just a bad period in a sunny season where we win the title. So what, we're just going to do this every year? What is there to believe is going to be different? Of course, we're going to bring in new players. And I don't even agree with this when everyone's like, oh, City are going to get better. Liverpool are going to get better. They've been saying it for 4 years. Everybody is going to aspire to get better. We do have a foundation. But what is this? What is this love affair? Like, as I said, I am the biggest, from a non-biased coaching philosophy, I'm the biggest Arteta fan. But I love my club more. There was Arsenal before him. There'll be Arsenal after him. And what if he walks? Because he said, I don't want to be here for 10 years. You're approaching 6 years now, 7
If you don't win anything, please go. Because at the very least, even you just need to see change. And I feel like I don't think we can do another season of Mikel. I just don't. If he doesn't win, you need to change something. And maybe it is the case that you have a bunch of players that have never really won anything before with a manager that's never really won anything before. Maybe having somebody that's actually won something at the helm would help, but it's giving the blind leading the blind. And I like Mikel, and he can still turn this around, but it's dark for him because none of his players are in form and they're crumbling.
It's one where there's no words. Like, there's no words, but one thing's for sure certain. If you keep doing the same things are going to happen. Who would you bring in to manage right now if you had the power? For me, Luis Enrique, do you want 15 million a year? Do that for me, bro.
Yeah, I watched that, and I get it. It's Champions League and it's whatever, but they went 2-0 down early against Monaco and just kept playing their game. He made an in-game. He had to take off one of his best players, I think, because Dembele got injured. He brought in Doué, and Doué was the one who basically turned that game around for them. I know that you can't always play the best football, but my goodness, sometimes the best defense is offense. And we just play some of the most risk-averse, negative, boring shit football that I've ever seen. And if we can't win with it, then scrap it and get a coach that can play at least a semblance of Arsenal football. I know I've been the type of person that is not super attached to the style because I feel like the the Emirates era is totally separate to me than what I came in watching. So the Invincibles didn't play tiki taka. So
They
I'm
played
not
good
looking
football,
for
but they
tiki
had
taka.
physical qualities to match it.
Yeah, but I feel like world-class elite attackers that play fast, attractive, attacking football, and a good sturdy defense. Because remember, we had still a top level defense, a great goalkeeper, two great center backs, two top level fullbacks. So I don't understand why we can't replicate that in 2026. I don't see why we can't replicate that. So I'm not looking for tiki taka, but my goodness, what we're watching is to make my eyes bleed.
Enjoy it a bit, man. Like
Yeah.
it just feels a bit lifeless. It's too much data. It's too much statistics. It's not
Yeah,
just
it's
lifeless and
dark.
enjoying playing with your friends. And do you know what? I see it on occasion. Literally, I saw it against Newcastle. I saw it against Wigan with Saka and Noni. I saw it literally whenever, not many, but when Odegaard and Eze have been on the pitch, I've seen it in moments and fragments, not on a consistent basis. I shouldn't be sat here with just a fellow Arsenal fan. Oh, but when do you think you saw attacking football? This and that. It's not making sense. Football's decided in both ends. We need to
Yeah.
get back to it, bro.
I
It's
saw James from the Gooniverse had tweeted yesterday saying that like basically he gets that Arteta has to say all this about like it's the perfect game to turn things around. It's the North London derby, but it's like his tactics that are pouring cold water on the title race. And we're top of the league. We're in a cup final and we're in all four competitions. Why isn't it more fun? And I know that it's like football's not about fun, it's about winning. But if we're not even winning, then what the fuck are we doing? We have to win something. We must, because this is like torture. It shouldn't be like this. And Arteta brings that because his football is so based around just results and set pieces and margins. It's hard to relax and have fun when every game is life and death. And I'm
and we've
fucking
got this
tired.
itch on our back of winning a title and win a title race. So there probably is that indirect level of anxiety if the players aren't showing it, and definitely where the fans are concerned. And until that, because genuinely, I do think a lot get. I'm not saying we're gonna explode and win 10 titles in a row, but I think if you know what, I'm gonna say if now, because I was saying when, if we win our first title in a gazillion years, I do think it'd be like, and maybe he'll take the handbrake off. Maybe he will try different things. But this is all hypotheticals. Right now, you're in a title race. You've got you're top. There's a game in hand. The team below you've got a game in hand. The pressure's on.
Yeah.
What do you lot
You
want to
messed
do?
it up. Now you have to win every single game from now until the end of the season. Because anybody who thinks that City cannot win every single one of their games is just, where have you been? Of course they can. And they probably will. And even if they don't, they won't need to, because we'll drop more points than them. And that's the problem.
I wanted to ask you, I tweeted this. You man are not bottlers, because this is in relation to Arteta saying when you have a moment of difficulty and really frustrated with yourselves, kind of what you said, you have the perfect game, Spurs away, go and show how much you want it, talk on the pitch. I got no concerns about their North London derby because they're actually half on it in games of that ilk. It's the Wolves and whatnot. I know you disagree, but I said you man are not bottlers because I don't think you're bottlers. I can't think you're bottlers when I'm seeing the same things. I just think you're on the same script. So I basically said issues that have been there all season, regardless of the result, and last year, biting us on the arse. I thought it was a Spartan thing. Lately, lads, you have looked like little boys and girls dropped at school for the first time. No phones, hot Costco water, bleep tests and biscuits, no haircuts till May, lock in until it's mathematically impossible. You better fight. Convos will take place in May. Speak soon.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they will have to take that bottler's tag with honor if they mess it up. That being said, I do agree with what you're saying. It's like it's the patterns and it's the fact that those haven't been fixed. And if they just lock in,
Oh yeah,
they
they have
could
to
do
hold the
it.
bottom thing.
It's just a matter of whether or not they do it. And I don't know. There's just something about this team that I feel like they just kind of they seep into the negativity and pressure and just
Proving the
allow it
haters
to
right.
overtake them. But Arteta can say that all he wants about go and get him, and it's the next match and prove it on the pitch. But maybe if you changed up your tactics a little bit and at least tried to get the right types of combinations on the pitch and you took players off that were not literally dying on the field, that maybe it would make it easier for them to prove it on the pitch, because he's hard-headed as he's the most hard-headed. He is so fucking hard-headed. He will not change a thing, and so he just thinks it's just a matter of them just locking in, and he has to meet them halfway. He has to take some responsibility as well. And I don't know if he is or not, because he's definitely a part of the problem.
And I'm at that point, where he's not wrong in what he's saying. I don't want to hear that. I don't really want to hear from the players and whatnot. Just go and win games, because now you've given yourself no margin for error. And do I believe in my heart of hearts that we're going to drop more points? 1,000,000%. Do I think City will? Yes. I can't see you going on a run. And just because I can't see it, don't believe me. Not that players are listening to me, but if they're sat here listening to me, then you need to leave my club. It needs to be us against the world. And I've never quite thought there's a siege mentality. And we all know how long
he was asking for the fans to be up for the Sunderland game. And I'm just like, when you start asking the team, the play or the fans to carry some of the burden for Sunderland at home, but you're not changing anything from your tactics, I'm not listening. He needs to change things. I think if we saw him changing shit, then it would feel different. But we're just doing the same thing, running into the same brick wall.
Why do you have to be forced to change things? Like, obviously, between Odegaard, Eze, Kai's injury, that's what's forced the Saka in the 10 thing. And there's plenty of others. You have to be forced, and I get it. Managers have to be stubborn. I'll tell you could sit here and say, I've been second 3-4 years on the spin. No one can tell me nothing. I know what I'm doing. But that's where I would say I hear you. But if you've been second for 2-3 years, bordering on 4, you might have to change something. There don't have to be a drastic change. I'm not against moving it side to side. I'm not against our build-up play. I'm not even against certain individuals. But I always think about when things go left. When things are not going left, you're not changing. And you mentioned Luis. Well, we mentioned Luis Enrique. Another Spanish manager that you could learn from. Freedom within the framework. Look at their midfield. There's times their 6 is the furthest up the field. All of those players bust their asses to defend. Now, granted, I know they're struggling a bit this season compared to their own standards. I know they got their whole goalkeeping situation, and maybe in hindsight, it wasn't the wisest decision to sell Donnarumma. But the fact that this is a Wash City side by their own standards, took last season off, and they're back now, it makes me think, I do think experience is overrated, but I don't think it could be overstated, because whatever people say about Slot, he's won a league prior to the Liverpool one. Klopp, he obviously was in this kind of scenario. Pep, he had the same. I do think the fact that you've never got over the line is biting you on the ass, but you do have lived experiences of why you haven't done it in years prior. So
yeah, but he was never the guy to actually. He's supported, but he's never been the guy to manage the players. Like, there was a point in time where in our first challenging season where we knew we needed to beat City at home. We knew it because we had already started to drop points, because that would have meant that we needed to beat them at their spot, which would be hard. And midway through that game, because I think we ended the first half 0-0 or 1-1 or something, Pep had played Bernardo Silva at left back, and he was getting ate up. Exactly. He immediately changed it at halftime, made in-game changes, and they smashed us 3-1. And that was the end right then, because we weren't going to go to the Etihad and win. We got slapped 4-1. And I don't think Arteta has that. I don't think he has the ability to make in-game changes that change the trajectory of a match. I think if he does get it, he gets lucky. And that's the kind of stuff that you need when your team is slipping away. If he had kept Bernardo Silva in that position, we probably would have beat them. But Arteta would have left Bernardo Silva there to get ate the fuck up, and that's where Mikel, I think, not having that real experience of being that guy, it hurts him, because Pep makes in-game, in-season changes. I think the first one that he made this season was playing a little bit deeper when they were conceding all those goals. That got him a draw at the Emirates. That's hurt us. So, but how many in-game changes do you feel like Arteta's made this season that's been good for us? I don't know. Maybe 1 or 2.
Newcastle away comes to mind.
Yeah.
Champions League, there was some. City, fair enough. You brought the boys off the bench. I'd have to really go back. I'm scratching my head. You can't call City little bros, bro. It sounds great, but we're winning on chatting shit on YouTube. They've won titles, bro. They're not no little boys, and everyone thinks this project is just gonna explode. Newsflash, I just want everyone to know, for a number of years, this Arsenal project was done in it. The project was done the minute that 2022-23 season saw us in a title challenge. And in my heart of hearts, nobody at this club probably expected us to be there and wasn't prepared for it. The job was to get Arsenal back into this. The next phase is getting over the line. And every year we don't, the question is getting bigger. I walked into this season feeling a number of players and the manager and everybody connected was on borrowed time. And I maintain that now. So let's just hope Wolves is a bad day out. And I mean, all we can do is pray in it. Like, I personally think it's over. They'll have my support, but it's over, bro. You don't beat Wolves. You fuck about against Brentford and all the other games that you've discussed, Jess.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, at
It is
this
what it
stage,
is.
I've had my many crash outs over the years, and they're just not going to get it because I came into the season feeling like we weren't going to win it, and I was surprised that we were so far ahead because I really thought Liverpool would have a better defense. I thought, City would do better, but ultimately, even with the gimme, we're not going to be able to get it over the line, and that's just unforgivable for me. So, yeah. I mean, that run is just look at the teams that we played and dropped points. And like, even when you look at Bournemouth, like that was life and death because in the first couple minutes of the game, Gabriel decided to chuck it in the back of his own net. Yes, he made it up, but the signs have been there. The signs have been there that this team is choking. And I feel like the manager just doesn't have the ability to create an environment where the team can relax within the pressure. He makes the pressure worse because of the way that we play. So, if you fuck it up, then you just have to hold that bottler tag.
Do you think there's enough leaders on the pitch?
I don't know.
The answer is no.
It's
no.
It's not. I don't think Rice is not a leader, though. I feel like, yeah, there is leadership, but I don't know. It's a tough one. I will say that I am happy, at the very least, that because Odegaard didn't play yesterday, everybody's being held responsible. Because I feel like for the last couple of weeks, it's just been get Odegaard off the pitch, and all of a sudden, it'll just work. Every single one of our attacking players has regressed in the last couple of years, and the ones that we bought have not lived up to the level. If everybody that plays in the 10 looks like shit, it's probably not the players. It's probably more of a systematic issue or whatever. It's just funny to me. Like, I don't know why people thought that if you just removed Odegaard from the equation, that it was just going to magically get better. Like, they haven't been watching our team play without him for 2 seasons now. He hasn't really been fit. So, yeah, now everybody we can look at everything with a clear vision. Everybody needs to take responsibility for their own things. Even though Rice and Gabriel are meant to be like these great leaders, they had pretty shit games yesterday.
They're even shouting at each other as well yesterday.
So maybe nobody's a good enough leader, including Odegaard. But this idea that these other players are just so much more well-equipped, they ain't winning without him either. So I don't know. I think it's mostly the manager, though. I'm going to keep it real.
And if I'm honest with you, you look at any title winning side, obviously, Gabriel Jesus and Zinni, they were on the peripheral things at City, but there was times they came in, so you can be a leader. But, I even think of a Jordan Henderson, let alone a Steven Gerrard at Liverpool, the ones at Chelsea, the ones at City, the ones that have been at our club. I look in my team, and there's obviously people I would say are leaders. I make just right. Rice, I need you to step up. Zubi, I need you to step up. Every one of you, and many a name, Magalhaes, I need you to step up. This is what puts you down in Arsenal folklore. I'm not making this about Rice, but a few games ago, did he not sit there and say, if you want to go down in Arsenal history, these are the 4 months to do it?
Yeah, for sure. There's just something missing there. And, they just look way too nervous in positive positions. And I'm not 100% sure it's just like we don't have quality. Yes, the quality is lacking in some ways, but you just need to be able to relax within the pressure. And that's something that I always thought Klopp did a good job with, because even in the situations where they came up against City were just better than them. They were just better than them, but they took them all the way to the final, the final days of and when they got their chance, they took it twice. Not with Klopp, obviously the second time, but they at least took the first one. They were able to relax within the pressure. They won Champions League, they've gotten to multiple Champions League finals as well. So, and that's what you can do with good recruitment and a world-class manager and a good team, even though there's lots of pressure. But Arsenal don't look like that. And I feel like maybe it's because you don't have a clock. I don't know. It's a weird one.
It's jarring. 2 more questions, man, before we just stop talking about Arsenal. Why waste our days, Jess, man? Make sure you subscribe to Jessica. I can't imagine you're noticing the title. If we stumble into a league title or lose the league but win the Champions League, we're playing this shit brand of football, do you still give Arteta a chance? For me, listen, I can have my criticism. You win one of the big trophies, you bought yourself a life, innit? That doesn't mean free from criticism, but you bought yourself a life.
I'll be real. If he wins it, it'll just feel like a relief, and I can just switch off next season because whatever, he can stay. But I mean, I don't think that this is the way to build long term. I think you will have scammed it, kind of like Slot in a way, like, he's suffering now this season. But yeah, I guess he would have earned the right to stay. But yeah, it is what it is. I just want to feel relief. And that's the weird thing. It's like, it would just feel like relief. I feel like that we won, because it's just been so difficult. I don't know.
I feel myself slowly but surely checking out. I'll always support, as I said earlier today, support you boys. But you lost a believer in this team and in getting over the line this year. And what I thought was coming to you, lost a believer, bro. Man, I'm almost like an Arsenal atheist right now, if I'm honest, specifically to this team. But yeah, my last one, JT's last one. Is there a reason to believe our top players will ask to leave in the summer if we don't win? I mean, they're all on the contract, innit?
No, I don't think they will. But eventually they will leave. Eventually they will leave. So and if they don't, they're losers. I think if we don't win for a long time and they stay, then they're losers. So eventually you will lose them, but not this coming summer. But that's why I would say that if we don't win anything, you need to get rid of the manager. You need
fresh players, fresh ideas.
Yeah, you need a fresh start. And Berta needs to bring in the types of attackers that we should have gotten this past summer. Our last 2 summer windows when it came to bringing in attackers we've missed the mark twice. We didn't bring in any attacker after the 23-24 season. And then we brought in 2 that don't fit the manager's ethos and I don't know. We just need those attackers. I'm sorry. We just need them.
Yeah, like it's done now, man. DG and Jess, we are here now. But what is your starting 11 that you can see go on a run in the league? I can't see any. I'll be honest. I can answer that off the bat immediately. I can't see us going on any. So yeah, man. Jess, you got any content to come out? It's been a pleasure.
Nothing today. But tomorrow I'll do my own kind of live, I guess. So look out for that. It'll probably be around this time tomorrow.
What, as in it will start now or the time we started?
The time that now. So like 6
p.m. UK time, people.
Yeah, I'll do a live because people have been begging for therapy and I haven't done a live in a while. So yeah, we could do that.
I don't know what to say. And big up yourself, AMG. Yeah, man. Me and the barbers, we had a lot of conversations. I can guarantee I was a lot harsher on Arsenal and the whole football club over there than I was now. But big up yourself, man. He's a Chelsea fan. He's absolutely cheesing. But yeah, man. Just apart from your live tomorrow, you got any interviews, anything? We got a plug to promote.
No interviews. I'm still working on some stuff, but I got some interesting news. I'll be going to Brazil in a couple of weeks with Nike. So that will be a vlog.
That's what we want to hear.
Huh?
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, man. It's nice to be doing other things when Arsenal are doing their bullshit. So
just get your money, man. This is because again, like my barber said, at the end of the day, yeah, it's not to say Arsenal don't care. At the end of the day, these guys are getting thousands, 100,000s weekly, and they're going back to their mansions in it, and we're just normal people stressing in it. So we love the club, we ride the highs, we ride the lows. Hopefully people in May, we look back and say this was a down period. The only positive is that we are still top. It is somewhat in our hands, even though it's slipping out and them sharks are circling. All attention to the North London derby, man. Like, I specifically intentionally didn't want to talk about it because I'm kind of checked out. So yeah, man, hopefully we win that. Jess, chat, it's been amazing. Smash the like button, up the Gunners, even though we ain't been up at this moment in time. And on that note, peace. Is ways.
Bye.
Say bye. Say bye.
Say bye.
She always does a shit outro.
Bye.
She hates you a lot, man. People, we're out. Big up the mod, big up Jess.